Okay, thanks everybody for coming out. Welcome to this Gaza Ceasefire pilgrimage. We've got a beautiful day for our walk in solidarity with people for whom the sky, no matter how blue, is a source of danger. We're far away from the death and destruction, and in such a setting as this, it's easy for many of us to forget or not think about it and just go on living our lives. The Palestinian photojournalist Motaz Azeza, who spent 107 days documenting the carnage in Gaza, during which time he lost 15 family members, often asked people around the world who viewed his videos and photographs to speak up, to pour out into the streets of their cities, and ask their government officials, particularly in the US, to press for a ceasefire. Since being evacuated to Egypt late last month, Motaz has shared about his inability to stop thinking about those he's left behind. At night, he said, I dream I'm still there. I close my eyes and am haunted by the faces of innocent children buried beneath the rubble. During the day, routine tasks such as grocery shopping or going for a walk are interrupted by sudden flashbacks of the horrors Motaz has witnessed. Some of us here have direct connections to the Holy Land. One or more family members have been lost in Gaza. Some have family in Israel, others with personal ties to one people or the other, or to both. Many more here have been moved to join this pilgrimage ceasefire because of the reports and images of the catastrophic suffering that's been unleashed. Our ceasefire pilgrimage is one of over 100 being held throughout Lent in over 100 in many cities around the world, a lot in the United States. And two things make this conflict everyone's business, especially here in our country. One is just the level of the humanitarian crisis. Numerous international aid groups have described it as unlike anything they've seen in decades of work in conflict situations. Can you hear me? Yeah. The other is that U.S. policy has continued to support Israel's military action in Gaza through direct military aid and through vetoes of UN security resolutions that have called for a ceasefire. The brutal Hamas attack of October 7th was not carried out with U.S. support. The invasion of Ukraine by Russia was not carried out with U.S. support. Here, however, a real and substantive change in U.S. policy is what has most chance of making a difference. And as U.S. citizens, our responsibility is therefore particularly great. Pope Francis's call for a ceasefire, which he's been making consistently from October 29th, together with his call for the release of all remaining Israeli hostages, is one that should resonate with Catholics and other Christians and indeed all people of goodwill. The persecuted Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny, who died this month in a Siberian prison, said that, quote, all that is needed for the triumph of evil is the inaction of good people. Do not stay idle. He characterized the main battle in our broken world as the battle between good and indifference. So I want to thank everyone for fighting through whatever indifference and sense of futility that can sometimes overtake us and keep us home from opportunities like this to come together in solidarity with those most vulnerable in our world. Thank you for coming out today. The call for a ceasefire cannot and must not be a call for privileging the security of any one people over another. Neither the peace and freedom of Israelis nor the peace and freedom of Palestinians can come at the expense of the other. Instead, it remains possible for us to advocate for both, to stay in solidarity with both peoples, Israelis and Palestinians alike, without condoning the wrongs of either against the other, and also without falling into a false and amoral neutrality. Solidarity is not neutral, and in Catholic social teaching, it's owed first to the most vulnerable, who today in this conflict are the nearly 2 million Palestinians in Gaza, who together with the roughly 100 remaining Israeli hostages need safety, shelter, and food more desperately than any other people. As Americans, we have a particular responsibility to join together in letting our government know, and we're here on Biden Street. And by the way, the organizers of this initiative worldwide were very pleased to hear that Scranton is participating in this pilgrimage. To let our government know that we must no longer abet the death and destruction of Gazan civilians. It's for the urgent relief of their suffering that we're about to get started with our walk today, with empathy and respect toward both Palestinians and Israelis, and deep desire for a future in which together they may enjoy a just peace.
Islamic Center of Scranton, and he's a Palestinian from Jerusalem with family in Gaza, so he's going to say a few words and say a prayer. Okay.
First, I say thank you all for coming, for walking, and showing your support for the people in Gaza. And the one, they can't speak for themselves. We could speak for them. We are supporting them 100%. We don't want the occupation. We want ceasefire. Now, ceasefire. Now. And also, we want the United States of America to open their eyes and look at what they're doing to these people. They're shutting them out. They're not doing anything to help. They're closing their eyes. And that is not right. That is not justice. That is not true. That is not, and that's what you call freedom. Where is the human right freedom? Where is it? Under the table? Where is it? Why, when it comes to Palestinian people, it's no freedom. It's only destroying them, killing them. All our houses, our buildings, destroyed. Our roads, our women, our children, they are gone. When they're gonna wake up? When? How long this gonna take? Enough is enough. I don't think this fair. And I think all of you don't think it's fair. That's why you are here, to show your support and to show your love to the people. They cannot talk for themselves. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Today, we're really interested in expressing our solidarity for the people of Gaza, for the hostages who are still held, Israeli hostages in Gaza, and to just, add our voices to those who are calling for a ceasefire in that place.
So what exactly did you do? You walked, how far did you walk?
Yeah, we walked 5 miles today, and this is part of a global initiative sponsored by a number of Christian organizations, but involving people of all backgrounds. And the idea is to walk a cumulative amount of 25 miles, which is the length of the Gaza Strip. Today we walked 5 at 2 o'clock. Some of us had walked portions of the 25 earlier today, or in segments over a stretch of days.
How does it make you feel being part of this cause?
Sometimes it feels like we're all a drop in the bucket, and there's not much we can do about this and other really difficult issues in the world. But when people come together, they can make a difference, and it felt really good for people to be together from all different backgrounds, because they all believe that it's just not something we can continue to let happen, where women and children and all kinds of innocent people are dying every day.
What do you hope to attain?
Ideally, a ceasefire now, not later, and also much more humanitarian aid to Gaza.
All right, the catch-off question, is there anything you really want to know about the walk? You said enough, but is there anything you really want to know about the walk, about your feelings towards it, or just the event?
I think ultimately it is possible to be in solidarity with both Palestinians and Israelis without condoning the wrongs that either side has done to the other. It's not an equal conflict in the sense that one side is much more powerful, but both sides have had a role, and both sides can be involved in the solution, and we need to be really supportive of whatever can come from this that's constructive and humane from both sides. It's a Catholic Mass, and everyone is welcome. There will be communion for those who are, in the Catholic Church and want to receive communion, but everyone is welcome to attend, receive a blessing, or just sit there and hang out and pray together. So that's going to happen at the Chapel of the Sacred Heart, which is straight up the street, or walking, right? So we'll keep the Fitbits active, and then and then that'll be it.
The reading that we had, that second reading where the question is, if God is for us, who's against us? And the answer being us, that we ourselves are our greatest enemy. The things we've witnessed that we have done to one another, especially what we see happening now in Gaza, with the slaughtering of young innocent and other people who are innocent, and the continual kind of fighting that is going on in the Middle East, but not just the Middle East, that in all the conflicts around the world, and that we see how humanity is our own worst enemy, and our treatment of one another just requires of us to make a real transformation in how we see the dignity of people and how we see the divine within people.